God and religion talks about killing people. I personally think it's a fight over land, power, water and oil. ਹੁਣ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਫਿਨੈਸ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਲਚਰ 'ਚ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪੋਇਜ਼ ਹੈ। ਆਪਾਂ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਨਹੀਂ, ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਠਹਿਰਾਵ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। We need an intellectual revolution. We don't need no sword because we got the Lord. We have been blessed by all the principles laid out for us by our lovely 10 gurus. मैंने डांसिंग आउंदा है, पर्शियन, कथक, बैले। मैं 7 ज़बानें बोलदी हाँ, एक्टिंग भी कर दिया, राइटिंग भी कर दिया, बट मेरे लिए अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मेरे देश च घट आ। कास्टिंग का ते जे मैं कुड़ी हाँ, मैनू कोई एक्सपर्ट कर भी नहीं सकता। सोचे तो मेरी अखा ही तुहानू बंदूक वांगू मार देंगी। इश्क करना है मेरे नाल, मेरे टैलेंट नाल इश्क करो। आई वुड बी योर फ्रेंड फॉर लाइफ। I'm trying to create a revolution. I'm educated. मैं थक गई अपने आप में प्रूव कर करके कि मैं कौन हूँ। मैं प्रूव ही नहीं करना चाहती हूँ, मैं बस अपने इशारे नाल गल करना चाहती हूँ। My confidence comes from Sikhism. In a very weird situation, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm Aneesha Madhok. I'll deal with any situation. सानू बॉलीवुड की कोई लोड़ नहीं है, सानू अपने लोगों की लोड़ है, सानू अपने धर्म वाले लोगों की लोड़ है, सानू इंडियंस की लोड़ है जिहड़े रेवोल्यूशन च बिलोंग करते हैं, जिथे उन्होंने भी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं अपने संसार में। मैं कोई चाची नहीं हाँ, मैं कदे भी कोई परसैप्शन नहीं चेंज कर रही, मैनू करने की कोई लोड़ ही नहीं है। मैं अपनी राह च चल रही हाँ, अपनी गुरुआं की राह च चल रही हाँ। मैनू तो चीट कोड मिल गया लाइफ का। रब ने इस धरती च सानू पता क्यों सेंड किया? सो वी कैन लिव अप टू द एक्सपेक्टेशंस ऑफ गॉड। वो किवें हुंदा है? फॉलोइंग द पाथ्स ऑफ द गुरुज। साडे गुरुआं ने वो इन्फॉर्मेशन डाउनलोड कीती है साडे रब तो, एंड उन्होंने लिख दिता। इस करके आपां बाउ डाउन करदे हां। फील सैड, cry about it, feel angry and speak your truth. Once you speak your truth, then you let it go, because people who are hurt usually hurt others.
Right.
And we are not responsible for healing them, they have to heal themselves.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind to all of you. My name is Navjot Singh, and I welcome you to another episode of the Navjot Singh Show. Today, I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. A story that transcends geographies, a story that transcends cultures, and a story that has a tinge of modernity and spirituality to it. This is a story of a young girl who has Punjabi roots, who has Persian connections, who is an Indian American actor as well. She has acted in Bully High and is a Hollywood actor. She is an ardent supporter of human rights and has spirituality at the core. It fills me with absolute honor, gratitude and pride to welcome our today's guest, Aneesha Madhok.
Sat Shri Akal.
Sat Shri Akal.
Honor is mine and I'm grateful to God.
Sat Shri Akal, Aneesha, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And how are you?
I'm ecstatic, but at the same time disappointed. At the same time confused, because firstly I'm ecstatic that Diljit's representing us. I'm happy that we're going to have a very...
You're talking about the Met Gala, right?
Met Gala. I'm happy that we're going to have a very meaningful discussion today which would lead to an intellectual revolution in our youth.
Absolutely.
But I'm also disappointed at the world treating civilians like it's just like they don't matter because of the war that's happening, and confused because I'm trying to understand why.
You're talking about the recent killing of innocent civilians in Pahalgam?
Yes.
Indeed, it's been very tragic, dastardly atrocious. How many adjectives we can use?
Yes.
They would not be sufficient. It shows the wicked mindset of the enemy across the Radcliffe, on the other side of the Radcliffe. As we have seen, Indian Army, the tri-services, they have launched Operation Sindoor, where 9 locations on the other side of the border they were targeted, and terrorist launch pads were destroyed. So what do you think? I mean, what is your initial reaction to what happened and about India's response? Because we have avenged the loss of lives of innocent civilians.
I have a very grey, multi-layered perception of what is happening. I try not to let my emotions get the best of me when it comes to war. There are humans on both sides that are innocent, that have nothing to do with this war. I absolutely mourn the Pahalgam attack. It was absolutely unnecessary. It shouldn't have happened. It also destroyed the hopes of the Kashmiris who were going to prosper with tourism.
Absolutely.
When I was in Pahalgam a year ago, exactly around this time, I met this zoologist who was so passionate about showing off the wildlife culture of Kashmir, and he was looking forward to making more for his livelihood, for his family, using his education. And there's people in Kashmir who were at once paid by terrorists to throw stones, and now they're driving and earning money by meaningful ways that are connecting them more to their God, to their Allah. So obviously no God in religion talks about killing people. I personally think it's a fight over land, power, water and oil. And I think religions just use it as excuse to divide people. So I think the most important step forward is to, yes, demand justice, but if it can be done with intellectual and emotional and empathetic ways, would be better.
But see, I mean, somehow we need to, teach Pakistan a lesson also, that you cannot keep meddling with innocent civilians at the same time. The relations can't be normal enough. So we'll have to, first they have to shed off any kind of violence, they are infiltrating across the border, and then we can have, a meaningful conversation. Anyways, moving across to another important topic that we discussed. On the other side, we saw, Met Gala happening. So how do you see Diljit representing, the Punjabi culture on the international stage? For quite some time, he's making, a lot of impression about Punjabi culture and representing the turban at the highest stage. So
more power to Diljit Dosanjh.
What is your take?
Really more power to Diljit Dosanjh for working hard and reaching at a level where he's able to represent all of us. Even if anybody tries to say something negative about him or comment on his use of his own identity to get ahead in life, whatever it is, I still support him because he is representing us and we're getting exposure. And now because of him, at least 5 less guys will be asked in the United States of America, why are you wearing the turban, towel head, all the racist words that we've been called. I think the only way to tackle that is by using commercial success, but Diljit has done it with so much finesse. I'll give it at that.
So we're talking about, Diljit ने किस तरह पंजाबी कल्चर ਨੂੰ इंटरनेशनल ग्लोबल स्टेज ਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਿਆ, ਤੇ we're talking about Bollywood also, कि Bollywood 'ਚ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਪਕਾਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ, about being comedians. What is your opinion?
ਹੁਣ Bollywood ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਫਿਨੈਸ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਲਚਰ 'ਚ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪੋਇਜ਼ ਹੈ. ਆਪਾਂ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਨਹੀਂ, ਆਪਾਂ ਐਦਾਂ ਵੇਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਠਹਿਰਾਵ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. ਉਹ ਦਿਲਜੀਤ ਨੇ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕੀਤਾ. ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ, ਐਂਡ ਨਾਓ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਹਿਸ ਐਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਆਰ ਸਪੀਕਿੰਗ ਲਾਊਡਰ ਦੈਨ ਵਰਡਸ. ਆਈ ਐਮ ਸੋ ਇਨਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਬਲੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਊਡ ਆਫ ਹਿਮ, ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿੰਗ ਮਾਈ ਓਨ ਨੀਸ਼ ਇਨ ਇੰਡੀਆ for women who come from Punjabi Sikh descent to make their own mark in the film industry, because ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ Bollywood ਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਿਲਮ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦਾ ਇੰਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਮਾੜਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ. ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਟੈਲੈਂਟਡ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ, ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ. ਬਟ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਰਟਿਸਟ ਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਰਦੇ, ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਧਰਮ 'ਚ, ਸਾਡੇ ਖੂਨ 'ਚ ਕਲਾਕਾਰੀਆਂ, ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਲਾਕਾਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ? ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ. ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਾਥ ਪੇਵ ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਗੀ. ਜੇ ਇਸ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰਦਾਰਨੀ ਤੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹੋ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਈਡੈਂਟੀਟੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਕੁਝ ਮੀਨਿੰਗਫੁਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. ਰਾਈਟ. ਤੇ ਟਾਕਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਐਂਡ ਸਰਦਾਰਨੀ ਐਂਡ ਦੀ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਆਫ ਸਿੱਖਿਜ਼ਮ, ਲੈਟ ਮੀ ਗੋ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਜ਼ਫਰਨਾਮਾ, where Guru Gobind Singh ji, wrote this letter to Aurangzeb, in which he said in Persian, since you have Persian connection, you can translate that for me. Chu kar uzhama har hil darguzusht, halal ust bardan ba shamshir dast. It's like when all of the means have perished, sometimes you might as well have to wield the sword. Is it? Yeah. And let me take the conversation a little further, as we are discussing before the podcast also, about making gurdwaras as the centers of learning. Now, at that time, there was injustice. We needed a literal sword. We needed a sword to end the, kill the, perpetrators of violence. But now, there is an, injustice and violence of ignorance.
ਉਸ ignorance ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ don't we need an intellectual revolution? Cannot gurdwaras become the centers of renaissance?
You have made an excellent point. We need an intellectual revolution. We don't need no sword because we got the Lord. And now we
Wow, what a statement. We need no sword because we got the Lord.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We have been blessed by all the principles laid out for us by our lovely 10 gurus. And what do? We take that forward. How do we take that forward? With education. I think when it comes to doing seva, it is, yes, you said, in the form of langar, but also it should be in the form of education. We need to empower our people because we have a lot of blood, we have a lot of fire in our eyes, in our bellies, and we want to make something of our lives. I have seen it in Punjab. Every time I step foot in Punjab, I see the people and the energy we have, but there's nowhere to channel that. Punjabis have so much energy, but they don't know where to channel that. And we need to create more resources and opportunities for them. Otherwise, they will go in this rabbit hole of judgment for the few people like us who are trying to make an impact.
Absolutely. See, we see this trend of Punjabis particularly going, having this, thing of going abroad, Canada jana ji, apa Canada jana, and TOEFL, IELTS, इन्होंने ये बना लिया है कि बस बाहर जाना है. Don't you think there is need to do a reverse migration? बात तो होती है reverse migration की, लेकिन हो क्या रहा है? Youth के लिए यहाँ opportunities कहाँ हैं? You are also making that documentary regarding something like the same.
Yeah, so the documentary that I'm making, which I'd be happy to tell you more about, is showing the Indian dream. कि अपा ਇੱਥੇ रहांगे. I have come across people who are selling momos at night after their day job gets over, and they make an extra 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, and at the end of the month they have 30,000 rupees extra.
Right.
So they are staying back and working hard. But at the same time, ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ opportunities ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਆ. ਵੇਖੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੇਖੋ, I'm an example. ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਤਾਲੀਮ ਹਾਸਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਥੀਏਟਰ ਤੇ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗ 'ਚ. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡਾਂਸਿੰਗ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰਸ਼ੀਅਨ, ਕਥਕ, ਬੈਲੇ. ਮੈਂ 7 ਜ਼ਬਾਨਾਂ ਬੋਲਦੀ ਆ, ਐਕਟਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ.
ਕਿਹੜੀ ਜ਼ਬਾਨ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ? ਉਹ
ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਆ, ਮੇਰਾ ਐਕਟਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਬਟ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਮੇਰੇ ਦੇਸ਼ 'ਚ ਘੱਟ ਆ. ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਆਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਟੈਲੈਂਟ 'ਚ ਇੰਨਾ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਬਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਆਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਟੈਲੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਕਦਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਬੰਬੇ 'ਚ.
ਕਿਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਕਦਰ ਕਰਦੇ?
ਉਹ ਕਦਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਾਵਰ ਐਂਡ ਐਕਸਪਲੋਇਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਕਦਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ.
ਯੂ ਟਾਕਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦ ਕਾਸਟਿੰਗ ਕਾਊਚ?
ਤੇ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਐਕਸਪਲੋਇਟ ਕਰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ. ਸੋਚੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੰਦੂਕ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਮਾਰ ਦੇਂਗੀ.
ਐਬਸੋਲੂਟਲੀ.
ਦੈਟਸ
ਸੱਚ ਅ ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ.
ਇਸ਼ਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ, ਮੇਰੇ ਟੈਲੈਂਟ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਕਰੋ. I will be your friend for life.
Right.
I will be there and loyal if you give me an opportunity. But ਉਹ ਮੈਂਟੈਲਿਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੀ. I am trying to fight as a woman in this side of the world, and the other side ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕੁੜੀ ਫਿਲਮ 'ਚ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਬਦਨਾਮ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ. ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਮਾੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ I am trying to create a revolution. I am educated. ਮੈਂ ਥੱਕ ਗਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੂਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕੌਣ ਆ. ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੂਵ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਬਸ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਸ਼ਾਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਹੁਣ.
ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਹ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੀ ਪਰਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ. ਉਹ ਪਰਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਠੀਕ ਕਰਦੇ, ਇਟ ਵਿਲ ਟੇਕ ਸਮ ਡੂਇੰਗ, and people like you who are the torch bearers of a new revolution in in acting, I would rather say, not Bollywood. So what do you think ਕਿ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ what more needs to be done?
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਚਾਚੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਪਰਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਰਾਹ 'ਚ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਆਪਣੀ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਰਾਹ 'ਚ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਚੀਟ ਕੋਡ ਮਿਲ ਗਿਆ ਲਾਈਫ ਦਾ. ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਪਾਥ ਬਣਾਇਆ, ਬਸ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਲਾਈਂਡਲੀ ਉਸ ਪਾਥ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨਾ. ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਪਾਥ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਗਿਲਟ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੂਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੀ. ਵੇਖੋ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਹੇਟ ਸਪਰੈਡ ਕਰਦੇ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਲਵ ਸਪਰੈਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਓ, ਮਾਈਗ੍ਰੇਟ ਕਰੋ, ਫੈਲੋ, ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਆ, ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰ ਆਓ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚਾਹ ਪਿਲਾਵਾਂਗੀ. ਜੇ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਸਪਰੈਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਰਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਮਾਥਾ ਪੋੜੀ ਕਰਾਂ? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਰਾਹ 'ਚ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਬਿੰਦਾਸ ਹੋ ਕੇ, ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ. ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ.
ਲੈਟਸ ਬਿਲਡ ਦਿਸ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਆਫ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ, ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਾਨ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਲੋਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਦਾ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ. ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਐਲੈਬੋਰੇਟ ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ 'ਚ ਕਰੋਗੇ?
ਮੈਂ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਦਾ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਐਲੈਬੋਰੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਟ ਦਿਸ ਇਨ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼. ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਇਜ਼ no matter what, God has got your back. So you might as well go with the flow.
So listen guys, God's got your back. Yeah.
God has got your back no matter what you do. If it's good, wow. If it's bad, wow.
So
Everything is wow. Hukum che chalo, whatever you have been given, whatever opportunity you've been given, you have to see your situation and live with full gratitude. You cannot complain. Whatever you do, whatever is happening, think of it as a divine blessing.
Divine blessing.
And trust God that no matter what, God has got your back. You could be burning in coal. You could be burning in coal, but you are in a meditative state, thinking of God. Any cry that is done not in the name of the Lord is done in vain. ਤੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਅਪ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਰੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਕੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਰੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ, ਬਟ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੋਈ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਅਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਫਾਈਨ, ਬਟ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਰੋਂਦੀ ਆ, and then I'm like, wait, why am I crying?
Why do you cry?
Why do I cry?
What makes you cry?
Injustice makes me cry.
Injustice too?
Me or anyone else around me. Injustice makes me cry.
That's really good.
Yeah, the one thing that will make me cry is injustice. If I see dogs or like people or children
You're
suffering.
an animal lover. I can see that beautiful breed of the dog, Saluki.
Yes.
I mean, can you tell a little more about the descent of the?
Yes. So my dog Zora is a Saluki. It's an Afghan hound. That was the same breed that Guru Gobind Singh Ji had, and it's a hunter dog.
Wow.
So it cannot be bought, it can only be gifted to you. I'm really grateful, and her energy reminds me to live up to a standard if she is
always
my
in Chardi Kala as well, and it is such a vibe and aura to her. I mean, that's actually amazing. And you talked about people breakups and all of that, but how do you see that? What do you tell such people to elevate themselves? What is your message to them?
My message to people who are going through any breakup or any turmoil in their romantic life is anytime you cry for someone else, it's all gone to waste, because if you cry for God, that's the only time your cry is ever heard. So love God before you love yourself or someone else.
So breakups need not just be romantic as well. It can be heartbreak, can be of any sort. You chase a dream, you have a passion. Sometimes we go through grief. तो तुसी grief ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ process ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ?
Grief ਵੀ part of human suffering ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਰੋਂਦੀ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਰੋਂਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ feel ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ grief, but ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ, ਤੇ ਉਹ grief ਨਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਡੀਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ. ਲਾਈਕ ਆਈ ਕਰਾਈ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਲੈਟ ਇਟ ਆਊਟ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਰੈਗੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ, ਵਿਚ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੀਡਸ. ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਰੈਗੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ.
ਇਸ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਡੀਪਲੀ ਸਮਝਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ.
ਜੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਹੋਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫੀਲ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ. ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਰਾਹ ਤੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦੂਰ ਜਾਓਗੇ. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਬਲੈਸਿੰਗ ਲਿਓ ਕਿ ਚਲੋ ਰੱਬ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਗਰੀਫ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮੈਂ ਰੋਂਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਰਾਹ 'ਚ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ. If I'm crying, I'm
not
crying.
resisting the pain.
मैं resist नहीं कर रही. Peg sheg लेके resist pain करने की लोड़ ही नहीं है.
Very superficial level of living.
ये exactly. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੋਸ਼ਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਰੱਬ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਹੈ.
So are you religious or spiritual?
ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ?
What do you think?
ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਰੱਬ ਹੀ, ਉਹ ਜਵਾਬ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਬਾਨ 'ਚ ਆ.
What is spirituality for you? Because I'm getting a very spiritual vibe from you, because you seem very rooted in your values. So what is spirituality for you?
Spirituality ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਆ, I think for me Sikhism has given me a lot of groundwork to have a sane life, to have a head over my shoulders, and to give me my self-worth and my confidence. My confidence comes from Sikhism.
Absolutely.
If I'm ever like in a very weird situation, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm Aneesha Madhok. I'll deal with any situation. I'm Aneesha Madhok. My confidence comes from my religion, from my gurus, from my values. It never comes from the way I look. Because if the day my confidence comes from the way I look, I have lost my confidence, because we are changing every day. Every day. Some days you're bloated, some days you're not. Looks, it's
so
just
these are temporary phases. I mean,
our body's on rent. The soul has traveled many journeys.
Right. So you have interest in philosophy?
Bring it on.
So what do you read? I mean, what do you read in philosophy?
You mention and I'll tell you if I've read it or not.
You're talking about the Nicomachean ethics and the Stoicism.
Oh wow, kya baat hai, let's talk about it.
What this Zen wala philosophy that Sun Tzu. What do you think? I mean, how to be, like you said, Chaddi Kala. It's kind of a reflection. Chaddi Kala and Zen philosophy somehow they find resonance in each other. So how can we maintain that phase of Zen when there is utter chaos around us?
Chaos is necessary for Zen. Without chaos, how are you proving you are Zen? Mountain ch jaake main bhi meditate kar sakti. I can go to the mountain and meditate and be like, I'm Zen. But can I meditate amidst war? Can I be the peace amidst chaos? That's the real peace.
The calm in the storm.
The calm in the storm. Oh yeah. And Nicomachean ethics, that's my favorite. Nicomachean ethics talks about friendship. Something I learned about friendship was from Nicomachean ethics. There's 3 types of friendship, according to Aristotle and Socrates and Plato.
Socrates.
Yeah, Greek. So the 3 types of friendship in the Nicomachean ethics from Greek. One is friends that are only friends because of a mutual benefit. Second,
transactional
friendship.
Transactional friendship.
For example, 2 people like playing golf, or 2 people like to
common interests.
Interests. But the minute you remove that common interest, what is there in the friendship?
It vanishes.
Perhaps it does. And as long as you're aware and not lying to yourself, is a happier life. Second type of friendship is a friendship where you give your life for someone else as much as they would give for you. Now this type of friendship is really, really rare.
Absolute surrender, so to say?
Absolute surrender, but this is very rare to find because most friendships are with benefits or mutual interest. And the third type is when you enjoy each other's company, but what if one person changes? Then what you're gonna do? So the rarest friendship in the world is when you love someone as much as you love yourself, without attachment. You want them to be happy. So most romantic relationships don't even have that level of friendship as a base. So where's the house being built? On rocky sand.
It's always going to slip between your hands.
Yes.
Right. So what do you think? What is more nuanced way of looking at friendships, and what do you think is, how can one make sense between these 3 different types of friendships or relationships for a saner self, so to say?
You can only meet others how deep you've met yourself. So if you are someone who is looking at friendship because you have something in common with them, peg check, Gedi, he loves Gedi, I love Gedi, chalo we'll be friends.
Okay.
Great.
Yep.
मेरी कंपनी ओनू मेरी गल्ला पसंद है, मैनू ओदी गल्ला पसंद है, we are friends. Wow, very good. But क्या मैं ए दिली जान अपनी दे सकती हूँ?
Am I deeply connected?
Am I deeply connected? Sometimes friendships can be one-sided. You can give your life for the other person, but they will not give it to you.
Is that friendship at all?
That's not friendship. That's not true friendship. That's not mutual at all.
You cannot, you need 2 to tango.
You need 2 to tango. Simple. It's so simple. Life is very simple. People overthink and complicate. Sometimes, half the times, people are crying. They know it's going to come. They know that this relationship is not good, but they'll still get into it. Because ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਦ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਮੂਵੀਜ਼ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਹਾਏ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੂਟ ਚ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਬਟ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੇਬੀ ਅਪਰੂਵ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਨਫਲਿਕਟ ਹੋਗਾ ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਪੜਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕੋ ਸਵਾਦ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਸਵਾਦ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ
ਕਿਹੜਾ ਸਵਾਦ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ
ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਦ ਪਸੰਦ ਆ ਰੋਟੀ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਬੈ ਕੇ ਕਾਮਲੀ
ਅੰਦਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੜ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ कि चीज़ों के अंदर नहीं बढ़ रहे हो they are not going to the depth of things,
not going to the depth,
operating at a subliminal superficial level.
बिल्कुल.
Right. Now going back to the roots, we're talking about Sikhism. Let's go back to now talk about your roots, the Madhoks and the history, the war, the history of fighting wars and all of that. So tell us more about it.
I'm from a warrior clan. It shows in my.
I can see that.
I can't hide it.
I can see
Even
that.
if I'm smiling and joking, I'm a warrior, and I'm happy to be a warrior.
The energy is lit.
Let's go, Gen Z. And yes, Madhoks come from Gujranwala and Madoki from Moga de Nede Hega.
Okay.
And we are more into education, less farming background, more education.
Okay. And I want to know more about it.
So my grandfather was in the army. My father is a wonderful, brilliant, self-made man who has given me all the stability, the best education, and the most grounded and hardworking approach to life. I'm so grateful to my father for empowering me, that my expectation from the world is to be empowered, and I only seek other friends who empower me like the way my dad empowers me, and I empower others the way my dad empowers me.
So did you always wanted to become an actor, so to say?
I've been a very...
How were you as a child?
As a child, I'm the same now, but I was very shy and introverted as a child.
Okay.
I'm very, very sensitive. Every emotion, every energy, I feel it. And as a child, I would just process those emotions and never express it. Now, thanks to being an artist, I'm able to express it as an actor, dancer, writer, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
So when did that moment came that now you think, now I want to venture into acting as a profession? When was that moment for you?
I began my journey with theatre. So for me, I have been dedicated as a theatre artist. I never imagined cinema.
Okay.
For me, it was
more,
all theatre.
More puritanical version of acting, you know, more puritanical art.
Yes. And I would sing, dance, act on stage at the same time. I did a off-Broadway show called Infidel.
Okay.
I was the president of the USC Stand-Up Comedy Club. I wrote plays and directed them and acted in them here in Delhi as well. So theatre is my life. And I got spot from theatre and came in the Hollywood movie Bully High. And then I got spot from there.
Tell us more about your USC days and how was your experience by studying in the States?
The first week when I went to USC, I told myself I am going to fit in. I will act like the Romans. So what normally ends up happening is when a student from a certain country goes, they usually like to find people from their own country.
Particularly Asian backgrounds.
Exactly. And then they stick together. Then you don't expand your worldview. So I took myself into places that were not comfortable, where I spoke to people that were nothing like me, and I started to learn from other people's religions and cultures, and I eventually learned the American way of life. I used to skateboard everywhere, and I remember that I was just fully American, soaking in the ballet, the art and the heart of the art from America. Some of the best training in acting with Stella Adler, Meisner and Lee Strasberg, who have shaped today's American film industry. I went to the roots and studied them in theatre. So I think it was a beautiful experience. I went on to become the president of the USC Stand-Up Comedy Club, where I learned how to channel my pain and trauma through humor.
Right.
And my pain just comes by default in my genetics, because my ancestors have fought many, many wars, and here I am today alive because of them. So I will never indulge in any foolish, absolutely, I will never indulge in any foolish activity, because I think of my ancestors who fought for me. And every time I have to even take a step out of my house and think about anything, I always think of my ancestors.
Right, right. ਤੁਹਾਡਾ experience ਕਿਵੇਂ ਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ USA? Did you face any kind of bullying as you have acted in that movie? Bully
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬੁਲੀ ਕੀਤਾ, ਅਮਰੀਕਾ 'ਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਬੁਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ। ਉੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਲੋਕ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵਾਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਹੋ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਡਾਂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਐਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਨ ਲੀਡ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਹਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਮੂਵੀ ਦਾ, ਆਰਨਲਡ ਸ਼ਵਾਰਜ਼ਨੇਗਰ ਦੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰਾ ਡੈਬਿਊ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਬੁਲੀ ਕੀਤਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੁਲੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ, ਆਪਣੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੁਲੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ।
So I mean, this girl from India gets bullied in India and gets loved in America.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ, ਯੂਰਪ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਓ where are you from ਸਿਨਿਓਰਾ, ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਆਓ, ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਆਦਤ ਪੈ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਟੌਕਸਿਸਿਟੀ ਦੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਆਦਤ ਪੈ ਗਈ। ਜੋ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਛੱਜੂ ਦੇ ਚਵਾਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਲਖ ਨਾ ਬੁਖਾਰੇ। ਹਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ।
So what tell us more about Bully High? I mean, what was the theme and how did you land up that project? I mean, because there are many young girls and boys who want to land up projects in Hollywood, and you have successfully done that. So what was that journey? How did that come up to you?
I was performing in the play Infidel, and I had just graduated from USC, and I got spot from there.
Okay.
Bill McAdams Jr. was sitting in the audience, who's now my amazing mentor. He's like a brother to me, and I wish him all the best for his upcoming projects. And now I'm also taking his learnings and bringing that to India. I'm really influenced by Iranian filmmaking as well. My favorites are Azkar Farhadi, Abbas Kiarostami. So, and right now I am trying to make a project with Mr. Afshin Hashimi. Let's see how it goes. But I just absolutely love subtlety, and the beauty about Iranian cinema is that you don't have to show. You just feel it, and the camera will read it in your eyes.
Organically. as we are having one right now,
Exactly.
as organic as it gets. So what is your idea of the world cinema as you are into art? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਰਟ ਦਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਰੋਲ ਹੈ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਿਊ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੇਪ ਕਰਨ ਪਿੱਛੇ?
ਆਰਟ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਰੋਲ ਹੈ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਿਊ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੇਪ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਫਿਨੋਮੀਨਾਸ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ in terms of romance and philosophy and even political opinions, they're all satires, they're all being shaped by art. ਕਲਾਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ, ਤੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਲਾਕਾਰ ਬਣਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਰਲਡ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰੈਸ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਰੋਕ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਕਲਾਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਓਪਨਲੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਕਲਾਕਾਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਾਣ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਲਾਈਫ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਟ ਪਲੇਡ ਸੇਫ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਕਲਾਕਾਰ।
ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਐਪਰੀਹੈਂਸ਼ਨਸ ਸਹੀ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਐਜ਼ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਕਸਡ ਅਰਲੀਅਰ, ਆਈ ਮੀਨ ਦੇ ਫੀਲ they want the best of their chaps, of their children, and they don't want their kids to land up in a situation where they may be exploited, as we mentioned earlier about the casting couch and other things that happen in Bollywood. So ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਹੈਗੀ ਨਾ।
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਮਿਸਕਨਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ। ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਲਾਕਾਰ ਬਣਨਾ ਹੈ,
people in Bombay may not like that,
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਛੱਡੋ, ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਦੇਣਾ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਬੰਬੇ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਦਿੱਲੀ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਆਓ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੜ ਕੇ ਆਓ, ਦਿਖਾਓ ਮੈਨੂੰ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰਾਤ ਦੂਰ ਰਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਵਾਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਕਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਟਰਬ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ। ਆਈ ਐਮ ਲਾਈਕ ਅ ਸਟੇਕ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਡੂਇੰਗ ਮਾਈ ਓਨ ਥਿੰਗ। ਇਫ ਯੂ ਕਮ ਐਟ ਮੀ, ਆਈਲ ਸਟਿੰਗ ਯੂ, ਡੋਂਟ ਮੈਸ ਵਿਦ ਮੀ, ਦੈਟਸ ਆਲ।
But then see, I mean, if you want to be a mainstream voice, whoever wants to be, we might as well need a platform. Bollywood ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ we can find a middle way so that you can also get a voice there? What is your idea?
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਵੌਇਸ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਧਰਮ ਵਾਲੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਡੀਅਨਸ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰੈਵੋਲਿਊਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ ਬਿਲੋਂਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਨੂੰ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਡੀਅנס ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ। ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ, ਯੂਟਿਊਬ, ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਵੀ ਮਿਲ ਜੂਗੇ। ਜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਡੀਅנס ਮਿਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਨਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਥੀਏਟਰ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ, ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਦੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਦੀ।
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੋ? Is it growing? ਵਧੀਆ,
ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਮੂਵੀਜ਼ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ। Shout out to Mr. Jagdeep Sidhu, my favorite filmmaker in Punjabi industry. Right. Really, he's phenomenal.
Do you really like his work?
I absolutely love his work. Kismat, Sufna.
Amazing.
What a guy, what a man.
Amazing.
Shout out to him. Shout out to Anmol Sidhu also.
But aren't we just limiting to just a few topics? Either we make those typical rom-com or rooted in a traditional old eras, 1920s or early 19th centuries, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਬੇਸ ਦੀ ਮੂਵੀਆਂ ਬਣਦੀਆਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ, ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਉਹੀਓ ਕਾਸਟਿਊਮਸ, ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੋਡਰਨਿਟੀ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਨਸੈਪਚੁਅਲ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪਲੋਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਟੌਪਿਕਸ ਨੂੰ ਡੈਪਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ। ਉਹ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਲੇ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ। ਦੇਖੋ,
ਆਡੀਅנס ਨਹੀਂ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਨਾ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ।
ਆਡੀਅנס ਨੂੰ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ। ਵੇਖੋ, ਆਡੀਅנס ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰੋਮਾਂਟਿਕ ਮੂਵੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੰਗਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਰੋਜ਼ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਲੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚਾਹ ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਹਾਂ, ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਬੀਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਚਾਹ ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ। ਵਾਟਸ ਦ ਬਿਗ ਡੀਲ? ਅੱਛਾ, ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੇ ਸੂਟ ਪਾਏ ਸੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸੀ। ਹਾਂ, ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਬੀਬੀ ਵੀ ਸੂਟ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ। ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੀ, ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਸੰਗਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ। ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਜੇ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਲੀਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹਦਾ ਰੋਲ ਪਲੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੋਰਮਲ ਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੋਰਮਲ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੇ, ਮੋਰ ਰੀਅਲਿਸਟਿਕ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਹ ਟਾਈਪ ਦੀ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਬਣਾਉਣੀਆਂ। ਮੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਜੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਟਾਈਪ ਕਰਾਂ, ਬਟ ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾ ਦਿਲ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਅਨੀਸ਼ਾ, go deeper, question it. After a point I'll get irritated with myself, so it's better I stick to good roles.
One needs to try different genres.
I think romance, the kind of genre we now need to give romance is softness for sure, but not the cringy softness. Softness ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ, but subtle ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੈਲੀਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਉਹ ਵਾਲਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾ ਸਪਰੈਡ ਕਰੇ ਔਰ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਏ ਮੂਵੀਜ਼ 'ਚ ਕਿ ਪਿਆਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਫਿਰ relationships are going down. प्यार ऐदा नहीं मिलता, इश्क मिलता है ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਔਰ ਆਪਣੀ authenticity ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ. You're real, you're absolutely authentic. ਗੇਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਮੂਵੀ 'ਚ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਸੋ ਜਾਵਾਂਗਾ. ਉਹ ਰੀਅਲ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਚ creepy man. That's
creepy. You're a stalker.
Yeah.
They're normalizing it.
Yeah.
They're normalizing it. Shouldn't be done. What's your opinion about Mr. Dosanjh, Diljit Dosanjh?
Legend, honestly.
Amir work?
Funny.
Do you like his work?
Yes, I do.
He has some depth to his work.
He is amazing. He's really funny. He can make you laugh and cry. Kismet, I was laughing and then I was crying also. He's really good.
So what do you think are the female actresses who are doing good in Punjabi cinema?
Tanya.
Tanya Gupta.
Yeah.
Apart from her? Neeru Bajwa, what do you think about her?
Good, very
She has
good.
been since ages.
She is
timeless.
Timeless. Absolutely timeless.
You like her work?
I love her work. I think she was really good in Shire.
Okay.
I especially went to the cinema to watch her.
Sartaj Saab?
Satinder Sartaj.
He is
what a legend. Kanwar Greva, Satinder Sartaj.
He's a
you know
legend.
what? The same enthusiasm for Neeru Bajwa also. Let's go Neeru. She has her own. I love the fact that she has her own production company. She has 2 children. She's married. And she's pursuing her career. I like this. And I like that her husband also supports her for that. You know, he's not questioning her.
Right.
Right. He's not feeling intimidated by her success.
Right. That when you're so sure of yourself, then you give other people the space as well.
Yeah.
So that you self-assured folks generally do that.
Yeah.
I want to dwell a little bit more on Sartaj Saab. I mean, he's a legend. He's a philosopher. He doesn't write. He just weaves magic. Whenever he writes, his writing is such amazing. What is your opinion about him? Because had he been in a mainstream, it would have been like Hindi. His ideas would have been like Gulzar or anything like that.
मेरे जहन च ना फारसी च लफ्ज़ आंदे सतिंदर सरताज ਲਈ साहब ਲਈ.
Please go ahead.
من عاشق تام ساتیندر سرتاج من عاشق تام کاری منی از کاری نیست عاشقم از عشق تو نیست تو که مرا شیره عاشق تام which means that I'm absolutely in a surrendered form of love admiration for Mr. Satinder Sartaj ji.
Yes. I echo your sentiment when you say that. He is indeed a legend. So now, please tell us. I mean, what is your thing? How do you want the Punjabi cinema to go forward?
I want the Punjabi cinema to go forward with more Gen Zs coming forward who are artists who have that irking desire to make an impact, who want to tell the kind of stories that make us question our own reality, our own culture, and our own emotional intelligence, with the use of all the plays that we can get in terms of amazing camera movements, amazing direction, superb sets, and poignant stories. That's the only way Punjab cinema can go forward.
You also have this idea of building this feminine range in Punjab. What is that?
So there's this concept called feminine rage.
What is that?
Juttiyan, kudi di juttiyan khana. Oh हैगा feminine rage.
That's really harsh.
It's harsh because ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਔਰਤ ਦਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ is taken for so feminine rage is this concept in the West where women are talking about how important it is for women to also get angry. You know, we are constantly told as women that if you get angry, you are a bad girl. You are going to ruin a relationship because you get angry. But anger stems from injustice.
Patriarchy?
Patriarchy has definitely made a lot of women lose their voices. That one day a storm comes, and that storm is called feminine rage.
But are women also a part of propagating the
Yes.
idea of patriarchy?
Absolutely.
Kidda?
Women are part of propagating patriarchy for not standing with their fellow women who are actually in the right. When women stand with women who are wrong.
What is the reason? Why do you think? Because they might as well understand the plight of the fellow women. But is it lack of courage? Or
They want validation
lack of
from
empowerment?
men.
Is it lack of empowerment?
Lack of empowerment and validation from men.
Validation as in?
For example, like a girl in modern society, a girl sees another girl shining and doing her thing. And then that girl gets threatened that boys will look at her more than they will look at. And then she will say, Acha, ਉਹਨੇ ਵੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਪਾਇਆ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਵੇਖੋ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੇਖੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੂਜ਼ ਕਰੋ। ਉਹ ਟਾਈਪ ਦੀ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਰੀਟੇਟ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ। They are called pick me girls. Get picked. I don't care. I am the girl who's like, I don't care if you pick me. I will do my thing. I know I will be a good mother. I know I will be a good wife someday. And I don't need the attention of many men. I just need to be married to one because I have one heart. I will give it to one man. And I do not need the attention of other men. Please don't even look at me. I'm not even asking for your attention. And if any girl that wants to hate me for existing, she can hate me for existing. And she can take all the attention from the men. Go. Please look at her. Please don't look at me. I'm just happy with monogamy. And in my guru's path and making my movies, eating food, going to bed, that's it.
What about the hookup culture? These days people have made it like a norm.
No comments, yaar. Dil dukhta hai mera. No comments. I just rub. Only God knows.
How see, now we are in a time when we cannot avoid social media. Social media is the order of the day.
Yes.
How can we regulate? I would not say regulate, but what can be done to ensure that social media celebrities आप देखिए, I mean you do a little bit of what I would like to say, you present yourself in a certain manner and you get more viewers than someone who has more content, more pedigree, more gravitas, if I may say. That person doesn't get noticed as much. You sensationalize, be it media, be it anything else, modeling, that gets a little bit more viewership. What is your assessment?
Let the viewers go to them. Let the viewers go to people that are wanting men to see them in a seductive way. Let the viewers go to them. I don't even want such viewers in my life because then they will never see me for my intelligence.
What about them? What is the reason why the society is gravitating to?
Society has been suppressed for generations to not express their sensuality in a healthy way with love. So now they're going in a very low vibration,
toxic way.
It's getting very
dark,
not good. And I think that sometimes people can make money off of that because like if you see OnlyFans, it's a $1 billion industry.
What is this nonsense actually? I really don't buy in this idea.
I'll tell you. So OnlyFans is a $1 billion industry where women are thinking that they are empowered by using their sexuality to make money. Now think about the fact that even men who are subscribing to that are supporting this. So obviously it's going to get harder and harder for good men
to break that,
and very hard for good men and good women to find true love in this generation. Like if because me just if I'm just sitting normally and just not even bothering anyone, a man that constantly watches OnlyFans will, if he sees me, he will never see me with respect. He will never see me with izzat. And then if he tries to talk to me and I give him one jutti, don't even look at me. Like I'm just purposefully rude because I just don't want to be bothered.
Absolutely.
And then that same man will go and tell, "Acha, Aneesha mere na sasrikal kar rahi si." Like it's just like women like me, we are powerless. We don't even know what to say, what to do because we don't want the attention from the men. And now men are seeing us with those really horrible eyes because of OnlyFans. So I feel really sorry for people who are not part of this, but I'm not a victim. I refuse to be a victim. I will stand up for people who are against this.
Right. Now your song is releasing very soon. It's I think Iranian, Indian, Persian, that connection. I was trying to spell the name, but I think it's very difficult. You do it yourself.
It's called Ashaq-e-Tam.
Could you? I didn't get it.
Ashaq-e-Tam.
क्या मतलब है इसका?
Which means surrendering in love and admiration.
Surrendering. Tell us more about it.
So the song is about a girl's journey who talks about feeling lost in a world of true romance.
Okay.
And it's in Farsi, Punjabi.
Okay, it's releasing soon?
Yes.
Okay, all the very best for that as well. You're also acting, or likely, I think that American spy thriller is coming up.
Yes.
What about that?
I think that's going to be a really amazing role.
If whatever you can reveal, because the project is under the camera right now.
Yeah, sure. So the project is about a girl who ends up becoming a spy, and she's been recruited by Americans to spy on her own people, but she's actually helping her own people. but people don't know that yet. So it's a great series, and I hope to see it.
When can we see it?
That you stay tuned.
Okay. And did you undergo any special kind of training to be a part of this series? Because being a spy, since I also have a certain background in that field.
What is your background in like training as being a spy?
I'm a former intel officer, and I can reveal only that much because
since you've been a spy, what are some things you've learned? See, this is how you know I'm a spy. As the character, because I just deflected it back to you. So now I am the character now. I am living truthfully in imaginary circumstances. So this is acting.
You
become the character.
You are in the role currently.
Now I became a spy. Now I became in the role. So I guess no questions need to be answered because now now I'm in the role.
You asked this question because you are in that thing, and you don't know what the answer you will get from me.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
We are very tight-lipped. It's like people look at that James Bond movie with people sipping a martini and flirting with a supermodel or all that. That's stuff of legends. That doesn't happen in reality.
No.
The reality is the hard yards. You have to slog in those tough terrains. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਸਰਵੇ ਕਰਨ ਕੀ ਕਰਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੱਸ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਤੇ that is the difficult grind of the the work of the intelligence agencies across the world. Do you respect to them, unsung heroes behind the curtains?
Absolutely.
That's what happens.
Absolutely. I respect you. I respect all the heroes that have been there for this country.
You had a few more questions to fire in.
I want to ask you, what are your comments on patriarchy in Punjab?
Patriarchy in Punjab or elsewhere.
Toxic masculinity.
I think it needs to be called out. Toxic masculinity. It needs to be really called out because you need to recognize the person for what he is, irrespective of genders. It is, there is this philosopher who talks about that one is not born a woman but made to be so. Simone de Beauvoir, a French existentialist philosopher. That even in Greek mythologies, female gods are considered, kind of relegatory to the male gods. So, like Zeus. So that also, it is not just in Punjab or in India, that has been across the geographies, time and space. So coming to our own culture and our own societies, we have in Haryana you have khap panchayats, or for a long time we kind of patronize our women, sisters, mothers, wives, girlfriends, whatever that could be. So I think that has to go. We need to give people breathing space to let them be and let them flourish. If you love someone or you actually care for someone, you don't need to constantly be pestering. Just nourish it. Water the flower, it will flourish. That's what I believe.
That's beautiful. I really respect that you say that, because I think one thing that Punjab really needs is to understanding how to use emotional and social intelligence in navigating very tricky situations, considering we're from a bloodline which is full of warriors, and so naturally genetically more people are going to be acting aggressive if they're not channeled in the right way, and that's why we need to introduce more opportunities for people of Punjab, which then will definitely benefit India, because I see the fire. India is already,
Absolutely.
the rest of India is already working very, very hard.
Very, very hard.
And then there's Punjab, where there's gedi culture, land to rent आ रहे ਹੁਣ 12 ਵਜੇ ਉੱਠੋ, ਚਾਹ ਪੀਓ, 3 ਵਜੇ ਗੇੜੀ ਲਈ ਜਾਓ। ਪੰਜਾਬ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਘੁੰਮ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ, ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ, ਅੱਛਾ ਫੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ, 20 ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛ ਲਓ, ਇੱਕ ਨੇ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਲੋਟਰੀ, ਉਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਬਟ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ੀ ਇਜ਼ 1 ਆਊਟ ਆਫ 20 ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਕਲਚਰ ਆ, ਬਟ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚੈਲੰਜ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਦਿਲਾਉਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਕਿ your bloodline is warrior race and you need to channel that and make a man of yourself. That's why toxic masculinity is there, because the real healthy divine masculine is not being channeled. We need to create more opportunities.
We need warriors, not just in the literal sense. We need warriors in mind, body and spirit. We need people who can churn up a revolution, who can really think on their own 2 feet and have a mind to think, and they don't think themselves beyond mere flesh. We are more mind over matter. I think that is what that intellectual revolution that we were discussing.
Let's talk about the intellectual revolution in India, starting with Punjab, starting with Gurdwaras. What do you think we should do with the intellectual revolution?
I have been romanticizing this idea. I've been thinking about Gurdwaras being the centers of learning. Why can't, apart from the religious teachings, apart from the institution of langar, I want to take it one step further. Whoever is listening to this podcast, I through this conversation, if they get even 1%, we can bring that 1% change. That why not bring the youth? Why not open libraries? Why can't we dedicate a portion in a Gurdwara where we have not just our religious literature but other literature as well, and build up this habit? Because their Gurdwaras are built so lavishly. In every village you can have a library also. Evening you can have a culture of half an hour. The Granthi can teach you about the religious things, but also you can depute a teacher. You have funds. You can depute a teacher. He teach you, or maybe you can rope in leaders from different walks of life. We can organize events. Such things can be created. That thing needs to be, because any community or any society, if it has to progress, it needs to have that intellectual revolution. The Renaissance यूरोप में आया था डार्क एजेस के बाद, हमारा कब आएगा? What do you think?
I think we need our own renaissance, and I think that starting with Gurdwaras is the right move, where people can donate and have a separate section attached or behind every Gurdwara where there's a library. Because ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਆਈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ, who teach us, right? Teachers. And the best thing we can do for our community is to make education and learning more accessible. Maybe we can start off with volunteers who speak languages like I do, and start translating some of those texts into Punjabi, so that people who don't speak English, which is definitely not a determining factor for education, you don't have to speak English to be educated. You can be a PhD student in Punjabi, and I will give you equal respect as much as I would give to a second grader, because everyone deserves respect, everyone deserves access to education, and I think that's the only way moving forward. Then we will see more people thriving and having more healthy friendships, relationships in society, being more civil. And one example I want to give is Japan. How considerate they are of each other's spaces. Absolutely. How much if we have seen
such grounded people
too. So we can try to introduce some concepts which would take our zest for life as a race, Punjabi race, and give them opportunities. We will get a very booming state. We have agriculture, we have water, and in turn India will also really benefit.
Absolutely. We, at a time, Punjab was the food basket of India. The time has come. It becomes the intellectual, that place of churning intellectuals. Time is ripe now.
And we need to open more opportunities for people outside of Punjab to come to Punjab and extend the learning.
Exchange of cultures.
Yeah, I want more people from Kerala and Bangalore and Hyderabad to come to Punjab and help us challenge our worldview.
So Aneesha, I mean, how do you see yourself? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ, ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ the matrix of the modern girl, or so to say modern actor? How do you see yourself in this entire matrix?
I'm consciously part of the matrix. I am a mix of traditional and modern. I take in the values from the traditional philosophy that helps serve my purpose and finding meaning in life, but at the same time I'm modern in my approach, where I feel like the woman should have a say in matters, because women are very strong themselves. They just act weak so they can get the male validation, and I no longer want to be a part of that narrative anymore. I want to aim to get to a divine feminine perspective, so I can attract divine masculine.
Could you build on more to this idea of divine feminine? Ki hega ki hai concept?
Divine feminine concept ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੁੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ डिवाइन फेमिनिन आ कॉन्सैप्ट है जिथे कुड़ी नूं पता कि वो पावरफुल आ, बट वो ह्यूमिलिटी नाल चलदी आ, अपनी नज़रां नीचे करके चलदी आ, वो मेल वैलिडेशन ਲਈ नहीं करती कुछ भी। तो जदों कुड़ियां कहंदी हाँ जी मेरी हेल्प कर दो मैनूं नहीं आउंदा, वो फेक आ, आई डोंट थिंक इट्स रियल। जदों सच्ची हेल्प चाहिदी आ तो फिर वो ह्यूमिलिटी नाल आउंदी आ।
तुहानूं लगदा है कि मैनिपुलेशन हैगी इहदे च इन्वॉल्वड?
मैं तो 2 सेकंड च मैनिपुलेशन डिटेक्ट कर सकती हाँ। इन्नी मैं किताबां पढ़ियाँ, ਇਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਟਰੋਵਰਟ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਇੰਟਰੋਵਰਟ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਚਾਈਲਡਹੁੱਡ 'ਚ ਇੰਟਰੋਵਰਟ ਰਿਹਾ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਓਬਜ਼ਰਵ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਐਕਸਪ੍ਰੈਸਿਵ ਹਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਟਰੋਵਰਟਡ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਓਬਜ਼ਰਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਓਬਜ਼ਰਵੇਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਨਸਰਸ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਮੈਨੀਪੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ 2 ਸੈਕਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਕਰੈਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਟੀ ਅਤੇ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਮੈਸਕੁਲਿਨਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੀਪੂਲੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਟੂ ਡਿਜ਼ਰਵ ਲਵ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਮੈਨੀਪੂਲੇਟ,
ਲੋਕ ਕਰਦੇ
ਮੈਨੀਪੂਲੇਟ,
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਾਈਂਡਸੈਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ?
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਮੈਨੀਪੂਲੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹ ਨਾਰਸਿਸਿਸਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਮੈਕੀਵਿਲੀਅਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਬ੍ਰੋਕਨ ਟਰਾਮਾ, ਅਨਹੀਲਡ ਚਾਈਲਡਹੁੱਡ ਟਰਾਮਾ ਨਾਲ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਆ। ਅਤੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਕਸੂਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਜੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਕਸੂਰ ਆ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੀਲ ਹੋਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਹੀਲ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋਊਗਾ? ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟੌਕਸਿਕ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਟੀ ਅਤੇ ਟੌਕਸਿਕ ਮੈਸਕੁਲਿਨਿਟੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਹੈਲਥੀ ਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਨਾਲ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਦੇ ਜ਼ਿਹਨ ਨਾਲ ਬਰਬਾਦ
ਆਪੇ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਪਏ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਦੇਣਗੇ? ਯੂ ਕੈਨੋਟ ਪੋਰ ਫਰਮ ਐਨ ਐਮਪਟੀ ਕੱਪ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂ, ਉਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਵੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਭੋਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਤੋੜ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭੋਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਆ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੋੜਨਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਮੈਸਕੁਲਿਨ ਅਤੇ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਨ ਬੰਦਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਟੁੱਟ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਉਹ ਤੋੜਦਾ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ 2 ਸੈਕਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਡਿਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਨੀਪੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ। 2 ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਦਿਓ ਮੈਨੂੰ। ਇੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ 12 ਮਿੰਟ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਦੱਸ ਦਾਂਗੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੀ ਸਾਈਕੋਲੋਜੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ 'ਚ। ਬਟ ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਪੀਪਲ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਹੰਬਲ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਬਟ ਉਹੀ ਆ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਟੀ ਆ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਾਵਰ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ, ਆਪਣੀ ਬਾਊਂਡਰੀਜ਼ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ, ਬਟ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੌਫਟਨੈਸ ਅਤੇ ਪਿਓਰਿਟੀ ਅਤੇ ਕਾਈਂਡਨੈਸ, ਹਿਊਮਿਲਿਟੀ ਅਤੇ ਸੇਵਾ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ। ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਫਿਲੋਸਫੀ ਆ। ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਮੈਸਕੁਲਿਨ, ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਨ ਆਰ ਆਰ ਗੁਰੂਆਸ ਐਂਡ ਮਾਤਾ ਕੌਰ। ਅਤੇ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਸਪਾਇਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਲਾਈਕ ਮਾਤਾ ਕੌਰ। ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਮਾਈ ਆਈਡਲ।
We talked about Guru Gobind Singh earlier as well, and he has been someone who has sacrificed everything for the community and the country. Sarbans Dani hai. What do you think that his idea of, you talked about divine masculinity as well, his idea of fighting for the wrong, fighting against the wrong, and standing up to the right, and spreading that idea of justness in the society, how much relevant is that today? ਕਿੰਨਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਮਾਨੇ 'ਚ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼?
ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ, ਹਾਊ ਟੂ ਲਿਵ ਅਪ ਟੂ ਯੋਰ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਆਫ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਅ ਮੈਨ। ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਧਰਤੀ 'ਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਸੈਂਡ ਕੀਤਾ? ਸੋ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਲਿਵ ਅਪ ਟੂ ਦ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਆਫ ਗੋਡ। ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਫੋਲੋਇੰਗ ਦ ਪਾਥਸ ਆਫ ਦ ਗੁਰੂਜ਼। ਦੇ ਹੈਵ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਲੇਡ ਆਊਟ ਇਟਸ ਲਾਈਕ ਅ ਚੀਟ ਕੋਡ। ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਧਰਤੀ 'ਚ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮ ਲਈ, ਐਂਡ ਚੀਟ ਕੋਡ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ 'ਚ। ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਡਾਊਨਲੋਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਰੱਬ ਤੋਂ, ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਓ ਡਾਊਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਚੀਟ ਕੋਡ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਸ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਕਿਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰੇ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰੇ? ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਧਰਤੀ 'ਚ ਇਸ ਰੂਪ 'ਚ ਆਈ ਹਾਂ, ਇਸ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ 'ਚ ਆਈ ਹਾਂ, ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਫਿਲੋਸਫੀ ਅਤੇ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਿਰਦਾਰ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ।
ਰਾਈਟ। ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਰੁਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ। although I have seen we have talked about little bit about that, but let's go a little deeper talk about a few phenomena that are happening. What is your opinion? ਥੋੜੇ ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲੇ there is this actress Urvashi Rautela, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ 'ਚ?
I really want to go to her temple. A temple.
She
let's
said,
go. Let's all go to Urvashi Rautela's temple.
She said in that interview,
she's the first youngest woman to have a temple. I really want to go see this temple.
There's a temple in her name in Uttarakhand.
Yeah.
She repeatedly kept saying, and she goes on to say this, that even I want temples in South India. What do you say?
I want to raise a fundraiser for Urvashi Rautela, the youngest first Miss Universe, the youngest first topper of UPSC exam, and I want people
she stopped
to come forward.
She stopped UPSC?
She stopped it, and I want people to come forward and donate and make a temple for her in South India, because I think she deserves the recognition,
Oh, that's a good one actually.
Sorry.
On a serious note.
Yes.
Yeah, on a serious note, what do you think? What do you think of such, her, about her statements? I mean,
On a serious note, I don't think of her statements.
That's the wonderful answer. That's
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ that's
ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੇ ਟੈਂਪਲ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਰਵਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਹਾਂ
let's leave it to her anyways. I mean, since you have also been working across geographies you've worked, right? Now let's talk about this actress Noora Fateh. I mean, she also has a Persian descent and you also have some connections.
Yeah.
So what do you make of her struggles and her connections in India and how she rose from the ranks? What do you think the challenges that you face while being in this industry, particularly this glamour industry, so to say?
I don't know Noora Fateh personally, but I know that she has faced a lot of challenges as an immigrant in India, having to learn the language. And I think that she's using the knowledge of her ancestors, which is belly dancing, and she's earning a living out of it, which is really cool. Personally, I feel that belly dance should be reserved for a woman alone or among other women.
You're also trained in that?
It's in our DNA.
Okay.
There's no training. I know it's in my DNA. Thing about belly dance is that it's actually meant for the health of a woman. It's meant for women to have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy menstrual cycle. The womb is our power. A soul enters our body and we give life to earth, on earth to a human being. So belly dancing is an art form that empowers a woman to connect to God, because God has given the woman a Shakti in her womb. The minute you use that energy for the male gaze to get validation from society, you've lost the challenge. You've lost the whole game of life. So she can go and talk on podcasts about how feminism is really she went on the podcast and she said ki being empowered women are bad, women should cook for her husband, but tusi kar rahe ho? Are you doing that? No, you're not doing that. The women that are doing that, we don't know them. They are not famous. And I'm trying to not be famous, but now that God has given me a platform for whatever little people that know me, I will still continue on my traditional path with a touch of modernism to spread the ideology that one heart, one man. One man heart, one woman. Monogamy. I am trying to promote monogamy. This is my request, my vinti to society. We are a civilized species. We are not animals anymore. Civilization, for it to thrive, will only thrive with monogamy. Absolutely. You do not need the validation of the opposite gender or your own gender. You need the validation of God. And how do you get the validation of God? By tying the knot with one person and serving the purpose of God. Now, for people that think like me, it's harder. It's a lot harder in this world. In this world, it's a lot harder.
You get singled out.
You can get married.
You get called out.
You can get married, but not necessarily your partner will agree with this. Side to Snapchat, side to WhatsApp, side to like, and distractions are on there. So, divine masculine, divine feminine woman and a divine masculine man will stick to their self-worth, their standards, and will not settle till Shiva Shakti unite. That's the only way for society to progress.
In the same podcast that you're talking, Miss Fateh talked about nazar wala concept ki nazar. Do you believe nazar lagdi hai?
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੀ. ਨਜ਼ਰ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪੇ ਆਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਦਿਓਗੇ. ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਬਲੇਸਿੰਗਸ ਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ. ਨਜ਼ਰ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਬਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ. ਮੈਂ ਈਵਲ ਆਈ ਨੂੰ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਆ. ਇਟਸ ਸਟਾਈਲਿਸ਼ ਫॉर ਮੀ. I don't think this.
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ?
I don't believe in nazar. I don't believe in nazar.
This is all perception of the mind.
ਯਾਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਵਾਈਬ੍ਰੇਟ ਬੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਹਾਈ ਕਰਦਾ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਲੋ 'ਚ ਵਾਈਬ੍ਰੇਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਹ ਪਾਵਰਲੈਸ ਆ ਬੰਦਾ. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ. You know.
Wonderful.
Vibration.
Wonderful. Now, I mean, what is your definition of an ideal man?
Godly. The more we can try to, there's no ideal man or ideal woman, first of all, but the more we can act like how God acts will be ideal. We are human, so we are imperfect, so one has to be very forgiving. Because if other people have flaws,
compassionate, empathetic.
You have to be compassionate, forgiving. I don't believe in fighting. I feel like if two people don't work out, they don't work out. You just move on and just be civil about it.
Be yourself.
But be like God. Act like God.
But in practice, can we be like God? It's good to say, but is it actually practical? Is it possible? How it can be? It can get challenging in this world when we have lot of complexities, ਲੋਕੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ you have to deal with very nasty kind of people as well. So it's very difficult to maintain that divine grace. Sometimes you get hurt, you get wounded, you get cheated upon, you get lied to, betrayed. ਉਸ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ? How do you keep sanity? Sometimes ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ you are doing good to someone, but at the same time you feel yaar I am being wronged, I am giving, you are being wronged, and then उस सिचुएशन प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल है गॉडलीनेस मेंटेन करना?
हाउ प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल हैगा? मैं सारिਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੁਣ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਥੈਰੇਪਿਸਟ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ you can act like God, and the quest to acting like God is very important. Every day you have to constantly try to act like God, and it's going to be very difficult.
Let's get into the practice part of how do we do
the practice part of it. Forgiveness, ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖੋ
ਉਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਔਖਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ,
ਉਹੀ ਤਾਂ
ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ
ਧੋਖਾ ਖਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫੋਰਗਿਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੇ
ਔਖਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ,
ਔਖਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ
forgiveness ਕੀ ਹੈ? What is forgiveness?
Forgiveness is that if someone hurts you, someone disrespects you, that is their karma. They have to answer God. So you forgive them and trust that God has got your back in Chardi Kala, and God has given you that moment to cry and feel bad. So go for it, cry, feel bad, but no, cry in Chardi Kala.
But that monkey mind doesn't believe na. Sometimes you feel that I have been wronged, I need revenge. People generally, we are all human, thy frail. Our mind is frail, our bodies are frail, and we keep going into that loop over and over and over again. This Oprah Winfrey in one of her shows had some guest and wanted to explain the idea of forgiveness. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ forgiveness ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ. Forgiveness ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ you give up the hope that the past could be any better. How do you see this? Is it like because you have been wronged and now you cannot change that? Is that forgiveness? Do we do forgiveness for others' sake? ਦੂਜੇ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ forgiveness?
ਰਿਵੈਂਜ ਤਾਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਪਤਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ? ਕਰਮਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰਿਵੈਂਜ ਲੈਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ, ਕਰਮਾ ਹੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਵੇਖੋ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਐਂਡ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਲਾਈਫ ਇਜ਼ ਸਫਰਿੰਗ। ਆਪਾਂ ਸਫਰ ਹੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ 'ਚ ਹੋਵੇ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਹੋਵੇ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੈਂ बॉम्बे 'ਚ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ, एक ऊबर ड्राइवर से मैंने बॉम्बे में पूछा था कि क्या आप गरीबी को चूज़ करोगे या दिल टूटने को चूज़ करोगे? कहना मैं गरीबी को चूज़ करूँगा। दिल टूटना तब बॉडी फंक्शन ख़त्म हो जाता है मैम।
क्या होता है दिल टूटने से?
सो दिल टूटना,
आपका टूटा?
हाँ जी, ऑफ कोर्स टूटा है, ऑब्वियस सी बात है, इसलिए तो मैं इतनी एनलाइटेंड हो गया हूँ। दिल टूट के तो बंदा फिर वाइज होता है,
उधर से ही तो फिर रोशनी हमारे अंदर आती है। ब्रोकन थिंग्स आर
मैं
ब्यूटीफुल।
तो शुक्र कर दिया रब दा कि ਉਹਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਤੋੜਿਆ। ਉਹਨੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਚ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਸੈਂਡ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਤੋੜਿਆ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ।
ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ਟੁੱਟ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ? ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੋਸਤ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਰੋਮਾਂਟਿਕ
ਡਿਸਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਟੁੱਟਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਲੱਭਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ,
ਔਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਗੁੱਸਾ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਯਾਰ।
ਇਟਸ ਅ ਟੂ ਵੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ, ਇਟਸ ਅ ਟੂ ਵੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ।
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋਵੇ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਡਿਸਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰੇ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਉਹਦਾ ਹੀ ਕਰਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਹੀ ਕਰਮ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਫੀਲ ਕਰੋ, ਸਾਰਾ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਫੀਲ ਕਰੋ, ਪਰ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਫੀਲ ਕਰੋ। ਰਾਈਟ, ਰਿਵੈਂਜ ਲੈਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਰੂਮ, ਯੂ ਵਾਕ ਇਨਟੂ ਅ ਰੂਮ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਰੂਮ ਦੀ એનર્ਜੀ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਲੋ। ਕਦੇ ਫੀਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦਾ? ਯੂ ਪਿਕ ਅਪ ਦੀ એનર્ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਰੂਮ 'ਚ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਨਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਰੂਮ ਦੀ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਨੋਟਿਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ, ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆ ਗਈ ਹਾਂ, ਹੁਣ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆ ਗਏ ਹੋਏ, ਹੁਣ ਅਨੀਸ਼ਾ ਮਡੋਕ ਆ ਗਈ ਆ, ਮੈਗਨੈਟਿਕ ਕੁੜੀ ਆ ਗਈ ਆ, ਬਸ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਆ ਹੀ ਗਏ ਵੈਸੇ ਗਲੋਬਲ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੇ। ਦਿਲਜੀਤ ਹੈਜ਼ ਨਾਓ ਮੇਡ ਦਿਸ ਥਿੰਗ ਥਰੂ ਹਿਜ਼ the concerts, and now this thing Met Gala or Coachella or whatever is happening. But having said that, but still you feel there are people who may don't have that aura. How do you protect yourself from their auras? The only way to protect yourself from people's auras is to come from a place of compassion. You have your aura and you're vibrating high and you're in meditation and you're in Chardi Kala, living according to your hukum. And if someone is not matching up to that level, you will not vibe, because they are not vibing in the same level as you. That's physics. Physics proves it. You do that experiment where you take sand and you put sound waves on it. The sand will make the same shape with regards to the same sound waves. So ਹਕੀਕਤ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਾਈਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਨੱਚਦੇ
ਨਹੀਂ ਨੱਚਦੇ ਨੱਚਣ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ who do you think are the top 3 actors in Bollywood? I want you to
ਜੋ ਦੋ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਮਰ ਗਏ ਇਰਫਾਨ ਖਾਨ ਸੁਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਰਾਜਪੂਤ top actors
Irfan Khan legend
and Nawaz Siddiqui.
What do you like about Nawaz Siddiqui?
I like Nawaz Siddiqui's eyes.
Intense.
He's very
In Bajrangi Bhaijaan he even outshone Salman Khan when they shared the screen space.
You know why Nawaz Siddiqui is a good actor? Because he is God loving. He is acting for a spiritual reason and I see it in his eyes. The Persian in me can see that in him, because when you are feeling the human existential crisis, when you're feeling the human emotions and you're just feeling and letting yourself feel that, for the society you're a great actor, but God is blessing you with the skill of taking forward the portrayal of a human man. If you go deeper in art, that's when you're a good actor.
By the way, beautiful lawn out here.
Thank you.
Well maintained. So we were discussing about your creative pursuits, your quest for spirituality, and how you've been doing that inner engineering, if I may say so.
Sadhgurus, yeah.
है ना? So we're discussing about how we deal with people who have wronged us. And you brought about this idea that they also have their own inner demons. They're fighting their own demons.
Yes.
So तुसी की सोचते? What do you think?
So first step is to grieve, to feel the pain and feel the injustice. If someone has caused you harm, that's doing justice to your own inner child and to your own soul. So it's very important to feel sad, cry about it, feel angry, and speak your truth. Once you speak your truth, then you let it go, because people who are hurt usually hurt others.
Right.
And we are not responsible for healing them. They have to heal themselves.
But people who are hurt, they hurt others. But don't they have to take responsibility for healing themselves first?
Yes.
And then not hurt. No, you have to break that chain.
Yes. The more healed you are, the more healed people you will attract in your life. There's a physics experiment where you take sand and you put on sheets of papers and you put sound waves. And when you put the same vibrations, the same hertz of the waves, then the same patterns are made. So even if someone is vibrating slightly more than you in a spiritual place, you will not vibe with them. So you only attract what you are. You are. So if someone has hurt you, you have to question yourself, what is my spiritual purpose to learn from this, and what is my karma? Because until and unless you learn the lessons, you will continue meeting the same people in different faces who will hurt you.
Absolutely.
And to let someone also hurt you is disjustice to your soul. So in order for that, you have to have strong boundaries, and you have to be kind and compassionate with strength, honor, dignity, and
Grace,
humility,
and grace. And grace, of course. I mean, see, that's a very beautiful point you brought out, that first you have to heal yourself, then
Yes.
only you can bring that grace and poise and dignity into your own life. What do you think about the power of the human mind? Do you believe in the psychology? There was this experiment done in 1930s when India was under the British rule. There was this British doctor, and there was this gentleman who was on a death row. He was a death row convict, and he was given a choice either to be hanged or to die by a cut on his wrist. He chose the latter. So what was done? He was put inside. He was taken to a room that is all walls, no window, and he was made to lie on that bed, and he was tied. And a small bucket was kept just close to the bed, and a cut was made on his wrist.
Okay.
The water started, the blood started flowing, and as first it was gushing, and then it started trickle, and finally, when the last few drop tip happened, what happened is his brain would have sent a message to his, heart would have sent a message to his brain, and he died. But here's the catch, here's the twist. Later it was found that there was no cut. Actually, what the doctors did, they only did a blunt knife on his wrist and put a pipe of water. They gradually reduced the flow, and the man was blindfolded. He did not know what was happening, and eventually, as the flow of water reduced, his mind was being told by his senses that my body is being drained of the blood. Not a single drop of blood was drained from his body, and he died. So isn't that how human mind is so powerful? What we believe, that becomes our reality. I hope you will concur with me on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't
This
it?
experiment is living proof. Although the sample size is
Right,
extremely
very,
small,
very,
it's just
very,
one.
very small,
We
very-
definitely took an unawakened man.
Very small.
Because if you take someone
Yeah,
who's
that's
really...
a good point. That's
And,
a very good point. Very good.
Ekho, you thought you'll give a psychology experiment and I'll just say, yes, I agree. But now I have more comments.
Good.
Reflexivity for any psychological research is very important. We have to question ourselves even when it comes to psychological research or scientific research. How do we know what we know and why do we know
Brilliant.
it? I don't think his example will show me the power of human psychology
Human mind.
until and unless I go through it. And if I were to go through it, I'd go through it differently. I'd tell my brain, you're not dying. It depends on healed and unhealed people. So if you do, it depends who you're doing the psychology experiment also.
Okay,
And what one person's truth is, it does not speak for everyone else's.
Shades of grey.
Yeah,
Reality-
shades of grey. And it's
reality
like
is not all black and white.
universalism versus relativism.
Relativism.
What is his truth will not be my
Relativism,
truth.
relativism.
So, but this experiment does show the power of the mind.
But there is some evidence to that for because
This is very evident. It's enough for me.
Sometimes doctors do prescribe a normal medicine and they say this is for the cancer or something. Just experiments.
you'll
happen.
believe it.
You will believe
Placebo.
it. So I think placebo effect. So that is definitely true.
Yeah.
What's happiness for you?
Not seeking it.
Wow. Happiness is not seeking it.
Not seeking it.
Let's
if
delve-
I'm seeking it, matlab I'm saying I'm not happy.
What makes you happy? Let me rephrase the question.
I feel like I feel every emotion every day. So happiness is a part of it every day. There will never be a day where I'm only happy. There will never be a day when I'm only sad.
bang
I'm
on.
feeling all emotions at the
Bang
same
on.
time.
We are not machines.
I'm a human, yeah.
We are not machines.
Yeah.
We are, full of emotions and all
Yeah.
of that.
Smiling face is just a grace to say, you know what? I'm here. We made it this far. We're surviving. Chakde fate.
Right. Being a Punjabi, one thing that comes naturally is being a foodie.
Okay,
What
yes.
is your go-to food?
I really like aloo ke paranthe and variations of aloo ke paranthe.
What are those variations?
Sweet potato aloo parantha
Sweet potato, okay.
and sweet potato parantha, aloo parantha mixed. So I like paranthi. I need
The
paranthi.
triangle wali?
No, the round one.
Round one.
Yeah, and triangle one, I don't really like that
बचपन
one.
से सिखाते
I don't like that one.
थी.
I like the gold one where there's like stuffing
Stuffed
in it. Like,
ones, huh?
Yeah, I don't like the triangle one. I don't know why. I'm so sorry.
So you are a tea person or a coffee person?
Both.
Both?
Caffeine is good.
Caffeine is good, but too much of everything is not good for health.
Yeah, hydration is important.
Hydration
Persian
is-
food's really amazing too.
No,
I make
what-
fesanjoon.
Sorry?
I can cook this dish called fesanjoon.
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 What is it?
It is a delicacy of pomegranates and walnuts stew. So it's
Okay.
really nice.
Okay.
And I love this soup, osh soup. It has beans and herbs and noodles and really healthy, nice soup.
Right.
And what about you? What's your favorite food? Since we're talking about food and being
Rajma chawal,
Punjabi.
Punjabi.
Oh yeah, I
Rajma
forgot.
chawal. Lot of ghee in it. Although you can, calories and all of that, but
That's
then it's
fine.
that's healthy. Rajma chawal is like
Nice.
being from
Rajma.
I'm from Jammu and Kashmir, so
Oh.
you have the Badarwa ke Pida ke Rajma chawal. If
Oh,
you come
yeah.
over, do enjoy it.
I've had them. My nanny brought.
Pida ke Kishtwar ke bhi बहुत अच्छे होते
They're
हैं.
really good and they're so different. Like, they're so tiny, little cute.
And I must invite you to my hometown Akhnur. It's a beautiful place. There is a Gurdwara at the banks of River Chenab. Beautiful view.
क्या बात है?
Beautiful
Wow.
view. And Chenab River is flowing by. Vaishno Devi is in the backyard. Such a spiritual
Wow.
place. And it's a border town as well. So a lot of things. The traditional Pandav cave is there of the ancient times, where Pandavas, they believe to have, said a lot of things to that account
क्या
as well.
बात है?
So culture and modernity go alongside when we, go about that.
Beautiful. I would love to explore more of India
Yeah.
and study more about the Pandavas.
ईशा, हमने पॉडकास्ट में बहुत सारी चीज़ें डिस्कस की स्पिरिचुअलिटी के बारे में, लॉट ऑफ वंडरफुल कॉन्वर्सेशंस, पर आप एक कलाकार हैं. कला क्या है आपके लिए? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? मतलब फॉर द मोर कॉस्मोपॉलिटन ऑडियंस, we have been, I want you to bring as an artist, what is art for you?
कभी कभार तो मैं अपने आप से पूछती हूँ कि क्या मैं कलाकार हूँ भी या नहीं. तो आई थिंक वो ही सबसे बड़ा सवाल होता है कलाकार का.
To be or not to be, that's the question.
हाँ जी, वो तो हैमलेट पे आगे. पर वही है ना, जब हम अपने इनर हिपोक्रेसी और आयरनी के साथ जब हम जीते हैं ना, तो आई थिंक तभी कलाकार पैदा होता है. जब हम अपने आप से सवाल पूछते हैं और जवाब को जब हम ढूंढते हैं ना, तब वो जो राह हम बनाते हैं जवाब को ढूंढने के लिए, रब को ढूंढने के लिए, तो वो कलाकारी हो जाती है हमारी तरफ से. इस ज़माने में मैंने नोटिस किया है कि मिस्ट्री ख़त्म हो गई है. The art of mystery is getting over.
Could you care to elaborate?
Yeah, आप कोका कोला को देखो, पेप्सी को देखो, एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स को देखो, रेड, ब्लू, पॉपिंग कलर सब आपके फेस में आ रहा है. आपको देखना है कि लड़कियां डांस करें सेडक्टिवली, तो आपको 5 सेकंड में 1000
व्यूज मिल जाएंगे.
व्यूज के लिए ऐसे वीडियोस मिल जाएंगे.
कुछ भी मिल जाएगा.
कलाकारी वो होता है जो अपनी अदा से, अपने तहजीब से, अपने दिल और दिमाग से लोगों के दिल को जीते. वो होती है कलाकारी. और आजकल जो हो रहा है, लोगों को लग रहा है कि वो कलाकार है, लेकिन वो कलाकार नहीं है.
क्या है वो
बस इस मैट्रिक्स का हिस्सा बन गए हैं. कलाकार के किरदार को
एल्गोरिदम का हिस्सा बन गए.
एल्गोरिदम का हिस्सा बन गए हैं. और कलाकारी के किरदार को लेके वो अपने एजेंडा को फुलफिल कर रहे हैं. और वो कलाकार नहीं है. कलाकार वो है जो रब के साथ जुड़ा है और अपनी धर्म को और अपनी धरती को बेहतर बनाने की कोशिश कर रहा है अपने जवाबों से, अपने सवालों से. और आपके जवाब तब होते हैं जब वो सवाल होते हैं. बिकॉज आर्ट का एक मकसद नहीं होता, काफ़ी मकसद होते हैं, और हर बंदा आर्ट को अलग समझता है. तो वो कलाकार का जॉब है. अगर हम एज ए नेशन, इंडियन नेशन, अगर हम अपनी कलाकारी को इम्प्रूव करना चाहते हैं, हमें ईरानियन सिनेमा से सीखना चाहिए. बिकॉज मैं फ़िक्र खुनाम के मैं दुख्तारी पंजाबी आज़ा, मुझे लगता है कि मैं पंजाबी लड़की होके भी ईरानियन कॉन्सेप्ट्स को लेके इंडिया में लेना.
I think I should learn a little bit of Persian.
I think so too. अगर आपको ज़फ़रनामा अच्छे से ट्रांसलेट करनी तो आपको फ़ारसी ज़बान ज़रूर सीख. एक ज़बान तो काफ़ी नहीं है. फ़ारसी में कहते हैं ये एक ज़बान काफ़ी नहीं है. ज़बान है.
The semantics I might have to clean a little bit. Yeah. But Iranian culture या Iranian movies या Iranian cinema की ऐसी कौन सी चीज़ों को ने आपको बहुत प्रभावित किया है, और वो जो आपको लगता है इंडियन सिनेमा में भी उन चीज़ों को हम अडेप्ट कर सकते हैं?
इंडिया ईरानियन सिनेमा से सटल्टी सीख सकता है. कभी कभार कुछ चीज़ें कहने की और दिखाने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है जो आँखों में दिख जाती हैं. और एक्टर का जॉब ही है पहले महसूस करना, सोचना, और अपने आप कैमरा पढ़ लेता है. तो एज अ गर्ल हु स्पीक्स फारसी फ्लुएंटली, और जब मैं ईरानियन मूवीज़ देखती हूँ, मैं तो कोई और ही दुनिया में चली जाती हूँ. बिकॉज हर रोज़ तो इंडिया में रह के मैं हिंदी ज़बान में गुफ्तगू करती हूँ, लेकिन जब मुझे फ़ारसी ज़बान में गुफ्तगू करने का मौका मिलता है, मैं कोई और ही दुनिया में चली जाती हूँ. बहुत लफ्ज़ है जो हमारी इंग्लिश वोकैबुलरी में नहीं है, जो फ़ारसी ज़बान में है. एंड आई थिंक उन कॉन्सेप्ट्स को अगर हम अंडरस्टैंड करें, फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल एक कॉन्सेप्ट है थॉरफ. थॉरफ इज़ अ कॉन्सेप्ट इन पर्शियन जिसमें इट्स लाइक नहीं आप पहले आप तकल्लुफ़ ना कीजिए. लाइक वो एक कॉन्सेप्ट है जिसमें आप किसी और का भला सोच रहे हो और वो भी आपका ही भला सोच रहा है. कि नहीं फ़िक्र मत करो, या तहजीब. तो आई थिंक वो हमें उसकी ज़रूरत है, उस फिनेस और तहजीब की. बिकॉज
थोड़ी मिसिंग है. थोड़ी मिसिंग
है, बहुत ज़्यादा मिसिंग है. हमारी आंखों के सामने इतनी फ्लैशी लाइट्स, कलर्स, लोग नाच रहे हैं, सब्जेक्ट करे अपने आप को ऑब्जेक्टिविटी के लिए. क्यों लड़की को ऑब्जेक्टिफाई करना चाहिए अपने आप को?
प्रोफैनिटी,
बहुत प्रोफैनिटी है. क्यों है प्रोफैनिटी? इतनी ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. जो आप दिल आँखों से जीत सकते हो वो अपने आप.
मेरी कज़न सिस्टर है, आई मीन कहती वी आर सिटिंग एंड मेरी बहन पूछ रही थी, so why don't you swear? I mean, we're discussing as cousins. I don't feel the need to, because you don't feel the need to use that profanity, because your arguments have that level of depth. So I think that at some level that has to come up.
बिल्कुल सही बात है. जितना गहरा इंसान है, जो चीज़ें नॉर्मली लोगों को इम्प्रेस करती है वो कच्ची लगने लग जाती है.
वही गल है. वो इंडियन सिनेमा ची सी गल करिए North India and South Indian, Telugu movies, Tamil, Malayali, Bengali. There's a lot of, we are such a, salad bowl. I keep telling that we are such a multi-ethnic, we are, multi-cuisine society.
Yeah.
ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ cinema ਹੈਗਾ, that is dominated by Bollywood, and the other voices get kind of suppressed. In the recent past, the movies in the southern region, they have kind of, been making some sane voices. How do you think that we need to make it a little bit more spread out? People from all across the country need to come on the mainstream and express their voices.
I think we need an Indian revolutionary film industry which is expansive and it has no one location. I feel like you should not feel the need that you have to go to Bombay and make a living for yourself as an actor. You can make a movie anywhere, anytime. I think I want to make a movie in Assam about the tea plantations and the exploitation
Beautiful
of it.
place and beautiful people.
Right. I want to make more movies in Punjab about the quest of the farmer. I want to make more movies in Punjab also about the people who have immigrated into Punjab and faced the racism there for not fitting in or not coming from original Punjabi bloodline. I want to make so many movies about everywhere across India, and that has nothing to do with Bollywood. It's just Indian film industry, and we have platforms like YouTube and Instagram and Netflix and Amazon that will empower the independent filmmaker and his voice.
Bollywood क्या कुछ families का ही एक वो refuge बन के रह गया? What do you think about the word
the family business
nepotism?
the family business ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਰਨ ਦੋ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ struggle ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ success ਉੱਥੇ ਹੁੰਦੀ।
ਮੈਂ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ 'ਚ ਜਾਣਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਪੀਟ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਸ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਛੱਡ ਦਿਓ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰੋ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ I don't want my
nepotism ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕੀ opinion ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ?
I don't want my path to intersect with any of the nepotism babies. I will stay away from them. I will make my own movies.
What's your opinion about that?
I have no opinion. They don't exist for me.
They don't exist.
They don't exist for me until and unless someone catches my eye, because I'm very genuine and real. If there's someone who's acting and looks and skills and style catches my eye, I will give that person full appreciation.
Right.
For example, Alia Bhatt, she caught my eye.
Razi.
So I give Razi. Well, Razi, I don't know. I don't. Razi, she was good, but I wasn't happy with the ending because Minister Harinder Sikka wrote the story in such a way that the justice didn't happen. So shout out to Mr. Harinder Sikka.
No,
I met him in the golf club.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So going a little global, in the global parlance, global cinema, you have worked in Hollywood and you had the audience of meeting, the legends of the game, the Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade of the United States Army. When the shit hits the fan, some guys stay and some guys run. I'm talking about Al Pacino.
Yes.
The legendary Al Pacino. And you had the audience to meet him. What was the aura of that man like?
When I met Al Pacino, he was very grounded and star-like for sure.
Is he intimidating?
Not at all.
Intimidating not in the way that he intimidates you, but his aura?
His aura is very special.
Very special.
It makes everyone's head turn for sure. So in 2019, I debuted in American Icon Awards, where I met Al Pacino, Sylvester Stallone, Robert De Niro, Quincy Jones.
All legends of the game.
All legends. So that's why I don't have any more ambition, because I've already seen the top. Now I'm just like literally an actor for the heart.
Pursuing my craft.
I've already like ticked the boxes of walking the red carpet and meeting these people. So now nothing will excite me or entice me. Nothing can entice me. So meeting these legends taught me one thing. And I'm going to quote Quincy Jones, and there's a video of him telling me this. I got it on video. If you can see it, you can be it.
Wow.
I will share that video with you of Quincy Jones telling me that. You can
sure. We'll play
it. Yeah.
We'll play that. So that's amazing.
And when I shook Robert De Niro's hand, he looked straight into my eyes and gave a very firm handshake.
That's the Fauji handshake.
Character.
Military handshake.
Military handshake. It was not someone who's I'm big or I'm small.
Intense.
It was absolutely just perfect balance of humility and confidence. That was just perfect. Because I met such a great man with such humility and confidence that when I meet arrogant people, I know that I have met Robert De Niro and nothing will come comparison to that.
Nothing comes close.
So nothing will impress me. Arrogance will to repel. So
that's lovely.
Yeah, Chakde Fatti. But even then, for me, it's meeting a wonderful principled farmer in Punjab is the same for me meeting Robert De Niro in American Icon Awards in Hollywood. They are the same for me. You know why? Because I look at the character of the
dignity
person,
of work is
the dignity of the work, the dignity of expression.
You know how
and
titles
character.
get to our heads. I am this, I am that, I am blah blah
ਆਪਾਂ
blah.
ਕੋਈ ਕਾਟਾ ਵੈਸੇ ਤਾਂ
Absolutely.
ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਨ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਆ.
But for that matter, everyone.
Everyone. Nice of you to include everyone.
Yeah.
But our group has a superiority complex because of the wars we fought.
Yeah,
But yes, I think that we are all in one.
We should be grateful. We should be grateful, and we, as a culture, we have such a diversity, है ना. सारे लोगों का अपना अपना uniqueness हैगा. पंजाब, असम च भी warriors हैगे, लचित बर्फुकौन, South India च भी हैगे. So we as a society we make a perfect blend of such uniqueness which you don't find. साडियां जिन्नियां states और उन्नी यूरोप च countries हैं. So we have the language changes, dialect changes, the taste of water changes. Such diversity in our country. And having said that, every region, Punjab so to say, also has its uniqueness. We celebrate it, we welcome it, but we respect other regions as well.
Yes.
I hope you concur with that on me.
Absolutely. More than respect, I admire other regions as well, and I think that we can all learn from each other.
Come together.
I think we already are coming together as a nation, and that's the beauty of all of us, especially with our trade and our globalization. We all should come together in the world.
Right.
More than I think, because India is so diverse and shows that we can coexist with minor differences of religion and conflicts that come in the news very rarely. Overall, we're coexisting beautifully because we're in oneness.
But I think you are an artist. There are different sides to you. You're a writer, you're a director. I was reading somewhere you rap also.
Yes.
So why not? Let's do something.
1947 पार्टीशन का नाम, धर्मों के पीछे हुआ कत्लेआम, रुस क्या नमस्ते रुस क्या सलाम, इंडिया बना और बना पाकिस्तान, बुझे चिराग टूटे गुलाब उजड़े सुहाग, है कोई जवाब, ऐसी थी 1947 की मार 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 मार, नफरत की जंजीरों में जान गंवाई वीरों ने, जिंदगी अपनी नाम लिखाती रह गई तस्वीरों में, रोते थे बच्चे रातों में, पत्नी थी जिंदा लाशों में, रोते थे बच्चे रातों में, पत्नी थी जिंदा लाशों में, जंग के मैदान बॉम्ब गोला का तूफान, भाई ही भाई में थी टकरार, चलती है धरती है करती पुकार, ना करो राम अल्लाह पे वार, भूल गए क्यों अपनों का प्यार, ईद दिवाली जैसी त्योहार, ऐसी थी 1947 की मार, ऐसी थी 1947 की मार, खोलो गीता कुरान, क्यों माए थे बन के इंसान, एक ही अल्लाह एक ही राम, शहीदों को दिल से प्रणाम, 1947 की मार, 1947 की मार.
That's amazing. That's a perfect round up to the entire podcast, and I'm sure the podcast was really stimulating. जो audiences हैं हमारे, उनको एक अलग अभिनेता का एक अलग एक version देखने को मिलेगा. Generally when we talk about actors, they are mostly glitz glam, but they are all up in the air. This conversation was very rooted, very much rooted in spirituality, ethos. और हमने बहुत सारी चीज़ों के ऊपर, मुद्दों के ऊपर बात की. How the youth must be, what is the narrative for the cinema, for the youth, for the cultural renaissance that we discussed in Punjab and elsewhere as well. So it was really heartening. मैंने तो बहुत मज़ा आया conversation में, and I'm sure how was your experience being on the podcast?
I think you are an exceptional human being with a diverse range of knowledge. Stemming from your military background to even meeting all different kinds of people, and really reflects in your questions and your curiosity.
Appreciate.
I think that it's just beautiful how you respect everyone and anyone that you talk to, and it really shows that you'll have a conversation with anyone and you will always learn something. I think you're in a quest to learn, so I really wish you all the best in your journey of life to just keep learning.
Appreciate.
And looking forward to the intellectual revolution.
Yes, together we shall and we will make a difference. This was Aneesha Madhok, actor, writer, director, spiritual thinker, and a person who is on a mission to create an intellectual revolution. Renaissance actor, if I were to say, the women, the lady, the actor, the director who is on a revolution to create a new kind of narrative for the actors, not just for the actors but for the youth. And I'm sure this podcast will be very stimulating. आप काफ़ी कुछ सीखेंगे इसमें, एक पर्सपेक्टिव आपको मिलेगा, और I'm sure we have been trying to get that ideas forward. So we will see you in another amazing podcast with another amazing host. But this one has been an amazing one. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and keep your quest for your learning, and I wish you all the best in your journey of your curiosity. Keep asking the questions. Anyone and everyone may or may not have the answer, but keep searching for the truth. May you always find it, because the truth will set you free.
The feeling is mutual and I'm truly honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.